Now you've fallen in love with the cover, you love my resume, I've figured out how to deal with the phone call, I'm coming in for my interview. What should I wear? What should I expect? How long will it be? Are you taking me out to lunch?
No.
Okay. How many people am I going to see?
It's going to vary, but you're going to probably see a panel with us. So you're going to see anywhere from 2 to 4 people with your panel and your interview. You're going to actually interview at the clinic you would be working at. And then also you want to at least be business professional as far as what you're dressed. I mean, and it doesn't have to be over the top, but you don't want to come in there with like tank tops and jeans on. If all you have is jeans, just dress it up. And that's fine. We're not going to say, oh, well, she had jeans, so we're not going to hire you. Mainly because of the type of organization we are. We're a community-based organization, and we also like our staff to reflect a lot of the patients that we serve. We also have a lot of patients that become our staff. So we're a little bit more lenient in that. Just make sure you keep it appropriate. Make sure it's clean. Like you don't want to come in with flip-flops or things like that. And then expect at least an hour in the interview because we do behavioral-based questions where we're specifically looking for examples of experiences that you had. So one thing I would say is don't Google top interview questions and come in prepared to answer those top 10 questions that pop up because you're probably not going to be asked those questions. Be prepared to know certain examples and experience. Think of an idea. Think of the concept when you come in for an interview is prepared to provide us with examples. Doesn't have to be articulate the best, as long as we can clearly see you showed me an example of how you can do this work. That's typically what we're looking for.
And that's similar to us, but jeans is a no-no. When I say absolutely no-no, I'll give you a perfect example. Most of our interviews are 2 hours, and meaning we have a behavior for the first half, and you're with the hiring manager at that particular clinic, whichever clinic you applied for, but you also come to see me. And after that, you take a test. So I spend maybe 30 minutes with you. And there's a assessment test, especially for front office. If you actually use those skills and know those skills, we test them. I had an individual that came for an interview just Monday. She had on jeans and high heel boots they're very cute. It was beautiful what she had on, but it was very inappropriate for an interview. I mean, it's very easy to go to the thrift store if you don't have the means and get you a suit. I mean, it's plenty places, plenty. All the closet stores give free interview outfits. You want to be very, very professional. Please, no food. I've had that happen to me. They come in, the interviewee come in with soft drinks in her hand and sitting in the lobby. You don't bring food. You don't bring kids. You don't bring spouses. I've had
or chewing gum.
Definitely not chewing gum. That's one-on-one. I mean, you want to come and show the best light of yourself as possible. I mean, you forgot to wash your hair, put it in a bun. Don't let it be greasy and oily and, they look at that. We do soft skills. And soft skills is what your appearance is. Appearance is one of our quartiles that we test you on. They came here looking like this. And you want to get the highest score. She was well-dressed, very articulate. You want those skills to be, front runners.
What's the policy on scents? Perfumes?
We're fragrant free.
Yeah,
we are too, but I got a problem because I like my perfume.
Specifically in the clinics, we're fragrant
right,
free.
Right.
Exactly, because I know that's especially in Seattle.
Yes.
So I've come in for the interview. I've done all those nice things. I've passed my interview, but now I'm kind of curious. You mentioned these behavioral questions. Can you share with us what a behavioral question looks like?
I could tell you one. In your last job, you had a coworker that you didn't get along with, but y'all was on a project together, and you had a certain amount of time to do it. What would be your reaction? How would you handle this project? Usually those are the type of questions we ask. We have a lot of behavior. Now, if you want to Google that, Google behavior is not necessarily that those questions will pop up. They will give you a lot of behavior questions in the clinic. You have a irate patient that's been waiting in a lobby more than 20 minutes and his appointment is 10 minutes past. What would you do? How would you calm him down? What would your demeanor be? Ask those type of questions.
And we usually do tell me an example kind of questions. Specifically, like one question that people have a hard time is like adapt. We usually use certain core competencies, and we'll say like adaptability or learning. And so we would say something like, tell me a time where you had a very difficult time figuring something out, learning something, or learning something at a new job or in class, and then how did you go about overcoming that? And so a lot of people like to give us, well, this is what I would do. We're typically looking for, give me an example of when you did that. And then also making sure that you're the hero. So a lot of times if we say, tell me about a time when you're working on a project, we want to know what you did, not what everybody else on the project did. So learn how to be confident and comfortable with talking about yourself. I know for some cultures that's not a norm. So just learning ways to be able to talk about certain skills that you have without feeling like you're bragging, but this is the time for you to brag about how you handled a situation, how you overcame a situation. And so typically with us, I do a lot of probing. So if you don't quite give me the answer that I'm looking for, I'm going to go back to, well, can you give me a specific example when you did this?
Yes.
Because a lot of times we're used to giving general answers. And so what I always say is we're not looking for the right answer, we're looking for the right example that shows that you actually can do the work, because that's going to be the comprehension of it. The warmth is your mission. The warmth is your passion. The warmth is how you come in there. But then there's the comprehension part. Can you do the job? And that's when you being able to provide those examples is going to tell me that you can do the job. So be prepared to say, I did this. This was the situation. This is the actions I took. This was the results. We call it.
Wait, hold on. Take notes right now.
we call it STAR.
This is how you talk to a recruiter. And you answer in those 3 bullets because it allows them to take notes. With those notes, with your words, their notes, they go to upper people and say hire.
Right.
So you feed them the things. Those 3 things are, again?
We call it STAR. So the ST is situation, A is action, and R is results. And so it doesn't have to be long and elaborate. I did this. This is the situation. This is the actions I took, and this is the result. And so just kind of getting comfortable with being able to articulate answers that way, because that allows us to take notes, clear notes, because that's how our notes for my interviews are set up to answer, to take notes exactly that way. Okay, what was the situation? What was the action? The results part is always the part people forget. They'll tell me about the background, they'll tell me about the actions, but what did it result in? And it doesn't always have to be a happy ending, especially when you're talking about a resolution or a conflict or dealing with an angry patient. It doesn't have to be happy ending, everything worked out. Maybe that patient was upset and left, but what did you do to try to make that patient feel a bit more comfortable and try to make that situation better? You don't have to tie it up into this, I fixed everything, because we don't expect you to fix everything. We really want to know your thought process and how you would go about that. So what were you thinking when this patient's angry? What's the most important thing to you? And what's the more important thing to how you want to communicate to the patient? We're not expecting you to be Captain America and save everyone. And so that's the main thing, is really getting down to those results, really giving us that example and the actions that you took. What did you actually do in the situation is going to be the most important. And feel okay with providing work examples. School examples. I had people who didn't have a lot of experience that provided me with a sports analogies, but it was an example of what they did on their basketball team. But it made sense. And I was able to see their mindset. I was able to see their thought process and how they do a lot of strategic thinking that are transferable into the position. Because there's a lot of those, like she mentioned, soft skills that are hard to teach. And so we want to know, do you come with those things, with those kind of soft skills? And how do you approach certain situations? What's your thought process? What's your strategy? That's more important than the right answer.